Hi everyone and welcome back to Newegg TV. My name is Paul and today we're continuing our exhaustive coverage of the launch of NVIDIA's GeForce GTX 670 GPU. This is going to be our unboxing of EVGA's SuperClocked edition. So first off, let's take a closer look at the box, and for starters we see that they have installed 2 GB of GDDR5 memory. The SuperClocked version here has an effective memory clock of 6,210 MHz, and that's up from the reference stock memory clock speed of 6,008 MHz. You do get a 256-bit memory interface. The transfer rate on this one is also 198.7 gigabytes per second with that overclock memory. That's as compared to 192.3 gigabytes per second on the stock version. Moving right along, you get a PCI Express 3.0 interface, so you do have compatibility with that new spec. It's also backwards compatible with PCI Express Gen 2 or 2.1, so don't worry if you have an older motherboard. Compatible with up to 4-way SLI, and then flipping around here to the back, you can see some of the key features from NVIDIA, such as GPUs, which gives you a sort of core clock speed as well as an overclock clock speed that kicks in when thermal levels permit. You get adaptive VSync, NVIDIA Surround. You can connect up to 4 displays. You get 2 dual-link DVI connectors. You can have 3 displays for gaming as well as a companion display for displaying a web browser or communicator or something like that. Of course, DirectX 11 compatibility as well as all these other features right here. Let's take a look at what else comes in the box. So inside the box here with our GTX 670, we have some enthusiast-built stickers right there, so you can put those on your system if you like stickers. You also have a EVGA installation manual there that will guide you through the basic setup and installation procedures for installing a video card. Some additional information specifically about the GTX 600 series right here. So for example, the different type of connectors as well as power requirements. There is also an attention, don't touch the card while it's hot sticker. You get EVGA driver disk as well as software, which is now right side up. It's best to download the latest drivers for your video card from the EVGA website or NVIDIA. You also get a case badge in there, so you can put that on your case. You also get this big old poster, which I'm not going to unfold all the way. You probably have seen it before. It comes with a lot of their video cards, big EVGA poster. And then you get a couple power adapters right here. So these power adapters will take a couple Molex plugs, transfer them over to 6-pin PCI Express plugs. You need 2 6-pins to power this card. You also get a DVI to D-sub VGA adapter right there, which you can use if you have an older monitor and you need an adapter. Next up, let's look at the card itself. So here is a look at EVGA's GTX 670, and while I have it here, I should mention I also have their stock clocked version of this card, and essentially the cards look exactly the same. They use the same cooling design as well as the same layout of the PCB on the back. But generally speaking, this card adheres to the reference design from NVIDIA for the GTX 670. If we flip it over to the back, we can see that characteristic shorter PCB right here. In fact, I might as well give it a measure right now just so you guys can get an idea of the size of this particular card. So to the PCB is just shy of 7 inches, a little bit shorter than, and then for the entire length of the card is just a little bit longer than 9.5 inches. So give it 9 3/4 room in your space and you should be good to go. Another cool thing about this card is that due to the completely enclosed shroud cooling design all around the back that you can see there, actually you have no air ejected around this side of the card. So you have a blower fan right here, you have some positive pressure in this side of the cooler, and then it's going to push it all on the fins of the radiator right here, and then mostly out the back of the card through the vents right there. If we flip around to this side, we can see the power requirements. You have 2 6-pin PCI Express power connectors required. So EVGA has recommended a 500-watt minimum power supply for a computer with this card installed. I recommend going up a little bit higher than that because it's always nice to have some headroom in case you're going to add additional hardware. Maybe go for SLI in the future. Speaking of SLI, we have a nice little rubber protective cover there over our 2 SLI connectors. The card can do 2-way, 3-way, or 4-way SLI with the proper motherboard and bridges installed, of course. And that would give you increased performance as you add additional cards. I would like to point out that the shroud design for this card does seem to vary from a lot of the reference design cards that I've seen so far. It has sort of a textured area here along the center. It's got these nice, attractive looking aluminum strips across the top and the side. So if you have the card plugged into your case, that is generally what you're going to be looking at. So you got an EVGA and a GeForce GTX 670 logo right there. And yeah, overall very attractive looking card. It is a 2-slot design card, so looking down here at the end we can see our video outs. And why don't I flip it over to make it easier for me. So let me pop these off to show you guys video connectors. We have a couple dual link DVI connectors. Sorry if I'm dropping these. A couple dual link DVI connectors right here. Upper one is DVI-D, that's digital only, so don't connect that included adapter to that one. It'll only do digital out. Both of them though are dual links, so they support high resolutions such as 2560 by 1600. Along the side here we can also see an HDMI 1.4a out, as well as a DisplayPort 1.2 compatible output. Also, as this is an overclocked card, we already talked about the memory overclocked. I did want to talk about the GPU. You get a feature called GPU Boost with the NVIDIA 600 series cards that have been released so far. Basically, you get a core clock speed, and then you get an overclock speed that it will bump the card up to if the thermal environment permits. So the reference specs for the core clock for the core speed as well as the boost speed is 915 and 980 megahertz, and this particular card boosts that up to 967 at the core base clock and 1046 for the boost clock. And that is going to wrap it up for this video. Once again, this has been the EVGA GeForce GTX 670 SuperClocked edition. I'm Paul with Newegg TV, and if you enjoyed today's video, please head over to our Newegg YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe for more tech videos. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.